comments around this to the peers who are there in the audience? I mean, how to control attrition for
See,
especially for the apprentices?
see, if you can say that you have a formula to control attrition, I think that's the biggest flaw or a statement of intent that will come across to you.
It's always trial and error. Actually, you keep
Yes,
experimenting. Today it's working, maybe tomorrow it may not work.
but one thing now, which I have been doing now, see, the need for what is known as the proper communication has gone up drastically. With social media exploding during the COVID period, now information is available. I'll say you are bombarded by the information. Half of that may not be relevant, and half of that may actually do more harm to you. So what is needed is to give proper, concise information about the entire process, whether it is skill, knowledge, everything. So, I mean, Mansi would also agree, we are working on training programs, which we are now being asked to make it bite size. So gone are the days where a 1 day or a 3 hour or a 6 hours, we're just looking at a 1 minute training program now, but that is happening. The industry is giving those kind of inputs. The second important thing that we are trying to do is, which eventually would lead to lower attrition, is which we always have been harping since our early days, is the concept of multi-skilling. While this is a very good word that we've been all using in our PPTs, it's only recently now we've started to understand what it can actually do. The difference is multi-skilling, when we had adopted earlier, we wanted person to be trained in multiple processes. Now that is not essentially an upgradation of the skill. Whereas what reskillings or multi-skillings that we are talking about now is, even if you are operating the same machine, you can you can have multi-skills by bringing in element of quality, which essentially would bring into the old concepts of just in time. You can train yourself into maintaining that machine. Then you bring in the concept of what has been known as the ownership. Now, the point is, everywhere we are talking about these things separately. The HR person used to say that, okay, you need to have ownership. How do I bring ownership? You have a training program known as Kaizens, just in time being taught on the shop floors or seminars. But the relevance of that, and that is where we are trying to say that understanding the intent behind skilling is way different now as compared to what it was, uh, using Mansi's word, the plain vanilla platform for the skilling or the apprentice things. So this is where we are trying to bring a value added content towards the person's job. Okay, 6 months you learn the operations, then you need to understand. We need to brief him. Dojo centers is the biggest advantage of any tier ones or tier twos. So he can understand the entire process, and then you can ask him, what have you learned now, next process or a previous process, or your interest revolves around being the owner of that machine. So there are ways and means a person can take his own interest and his own career progression. So he develops a holistic part,
Got it.
and
I
that
think
is all you can do